The problem is the lack of naval combat and not auto-spawning transports. Auto-spawning transports in a medieval game would be fine. But the lack of combat is incredibly dumb and prevents island kingdoms from defending themselves. You're paying money to enlist ships upon embarking units. It also takes a lot of time, implying it takes time to gather the boats. And, really, were you ever short on ships after the very start of CK2? I frankly found myself struggling to not raise too many. And I watched too much Supernatural, said no one ever short levies to not bring too many ships. Naval combat was extremely limited in the Middle Ages. And very few naval kingdoms could really defend themselves well. It helped to have a strong navy. But even Byzantium with its navy and Greek fire could not really prevent landings or win decisively on the sea alone. What is more likely is that you will get hugely anachronistic situations where a strong English navy will prevent Viking raids or the Norman conquest. Because this feels right. But even a huge national navy, which was not a thing at that time, could not have prevented easy invasions. The technology just was not there. I watched too much Supernatural, said no one ever shirt. Tank top, V-neck. Ladies' tee for men and women. Tank top, V-neck. However, if they make navies weak and expensive, accurate, people will complain even more. The main problems for sea voyaging were logistics and weather, not opposing navies. If they add naval combat, the player will just abuse it super hard. It might be ahistorical to not have any combat, but I watched too much Supernatural, said no one ever shirt. I also like your idea about weather conditions. How will that be the case when it's pretty much no different than moving overland? The stupidity has to be somewhat mitigated. The action of collecting ships and using them to transport has been removed. That's the problem the AI had. The AI never had as many problems when they get a stack together. They can just leave their 50k stack and just go over water with it now. We saw the same thing when this change was done in Total War and Civ. Huge. Official I watched too much Supernatural, said no one ever sweatshirt. Hoodie. Sweatshirt. Hoodie. As such. Sailing a siege stack to Rome. Once you've broken the initial wave or two of invading armies are by far the fastest way to end the war. Not that that's the way the AI does it. But still. The boats themselves. But attrition and upkeep are both factors they are bad at as well, and I watched too much Supernatural. Said no one ever shirt. I hated the change of that on those games and disappointed they are doing the same with this. I like the idea of gathering ships using the logistics of it. Wouldn't mind maybe being able to build in certain areas with tech, and that would be amazing, to be honest, since I could just not buy the DLC and not have to deal with the inevitably completely awful naval system that people here are so desperate for. The naval part of every Paradox game has been bad at best and a micro-nightmare at worst. I am quite happy with not having it in CK3. Other products.